Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is a video about Purvabhadra Nakshatra, the 25th Nakshatra in the wonderful, powerful, exalted 27-sign lunar zodiac called the Nakshatras. Now, I do teach a very worthwhile Nakshatras course. The website's www.nakshatrasadvancecourse.com, and in part one you study one nakshatra after the other, in fact focusing on your chart and my chart, how to interpret our planets in the nakshatras, and if neither of us have a planet in any particular nakshatra, we look at family members or celebrities. And then you go on in part two to look at the wonderful analytical techniques using nakshatras. And that truly is deep. You see, nakshatras depict our emotionally based consciousness, our emotionally based identity, and they depict it in a very warts and all way. It's not just nicey-nicey, obviously. And the whole point of this magnificent perception is that if you have this perception, it helps you do something about it. It helps you move from the lower to the higher qualities. And an important principle is that all my courses are linked to healing and empowerment. I work closely with my partner Maggie Pashley, and if you look at her website, www.maggiepashley.com, that's MAGGIEPASHLEY.com, you'll see that there are many healing methods possible. And it may well be that simply knowing about or actually using a healing approach will so greatly benefit your life if it can heal you of and end a negative karma, a negative characteristic that maybe is hurting others and hurting you. So let's look at Purvabhadra Nakshatra, the 25th Nakshatra. So Purvabhadra spans 20 degrees Vedic Aries to 3 degrees 20 Vedic Pisces. So that's using the sidereal zodiac of Vedic astrology. Although all my courses offer crossover to the Western astrology if you wish. And that adds wonderful extra dimensions that you can incorporate in. And the ruler of Purvabhadra is Jupiter. And so, for example, if you're having a Jupiter transit or you're in a Jupiter predictive period, your Purvabhadra characteristics will be brought to the fore to be understood and handled and healed and so forth. The deity of Purvabhadra is quite complicated, but essentially it's to do with rebirth through the destructive storm. And the symbol of Purvabhadra is a sword as a weapon, but also about cutting our ties to attachments or former life issues, deaths and endings and rebirth, hopefully. And also the symbol is the front legs of a funeral bier or a hearse, the journey of death, the journey to rebirth. And the yoni or power animal of Purvabhadra is the lion, the male lion, pride, leadership, respect at its best. The motivation is for arta, wealth or worldly comforts. So there is a focus on wealth creation with Purvabhadras. When you study the course, you can also learn about the gunas, which is sattva, sattva, rajas, down to 3 levels, and the Ayurvedic dosha, which is vata, which is about, well, negatively scatter and discontent and irritation. And another issue, seeing things from both sides, which we can do for good or ill, of course, for benefit or self-loss. The sex is male, the caste is Brahman, the quality is fierce. So that's a keynote a bit. So here is a little bit of information about Purvabhadra. And as I say, have an astrology reading from me if you or a family member has a Purvabhadra emphasis, or enroll on my Master Vedic Astrology course, my wonderful foundation course. Look up the details of it. Master Vedic Astrology. So what can you expect from someone who has an emphasis in Purvabhadra? Any planet there, but especially Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Lagna. Okay, how do you feel about unique, eccentric and mystical? How do you feel about passionate, transformational, extreme, radical, indulgent, impetuous and opinionated? Must follow their own path, whether to heaven or to hell, and highly strung. Purvabhadras are the idealists, the non-conformists. They have power to influence others. They're speakers, orators and demagogues. They're intense. They show passion, ambition, often fascination for the dark side, and transformation, fire and warmth. They're rajasic or desirous, often strongly sexual and can be dark. Fierce, but often with a big benevolent facet to the fierceness. They're very motivated to see that sacrifice has to be undertaken, sacrifice to a higher cause. So they're motivated to make a difference to the world. They're independent, self-reliant, sincere and hard-working. At their best, and this is what we want to hear, they can achieve deep philosophical wisdom. At their best, they're humane, hopeful, philosophical, truthful, charitable, liberal, systematic and polite. But these are very active people, so they can rush into immature mistakes. They can lay heavy, even violent, even head-banging trips on others. At their worst, they have extreme views and fundamentalism. At their worst, they're escapist and iconoclastic, angry, impulsive and anxious. And so, if a Purvabhadra develops perception into the darkened light of their emotionally based consciousness, personality, then they would see that they need to calm their lower self. Because at their lower manifestation, these people are critical, miserly, irreligious, even mentally violent or unstable, even persecuting, plotting, violent or criminal. They can coerce others into their spiritual pathways. I've found this method, it's the one, follow me. And they can have a dark side, which can be concealed from the world. And they can have a wavering or unstable mind in some way and nefarious. But if they purify these dark possibilities, they become devoted with good logical skill. They develop prosperity through cleverness. They're good at reading people. They can certainly make money. Their aim essentially is to ride fire. And the aim essentially of fire is to raise one up spiritually, to arrive at the universal view, in their case through intensity and purification. Purvabhadra people have lots of energy, so they have to direct it carefully and with great perception. There's the risk the energy could be used for self-centered goals, but their task is to deal with these large amounts of energy and focus it on inner growth and then serving the world. So each nakshatra has a special power or shakti, and the shakti or special power of Purvabhadra is for giving the fire to raise up one up, worshipping in life. So there's a brief description of that heavy duty sign, Purvabhadra. well worth hearing if you are a person with a Purvabhadra emphasis, if you're dealing with someone, say in your family, who has that emphasis. It's such valuable perception. You can find the buried gold, and that's the value of the nakshatras. And of course, do get in touch with me to enroll on my Nakshatras Worldwide course. It'll be great to hear from you. Thank you.